South Korea is on its way to become a more animal-friendly country. Amending its civil code, the government will protect animals from abuse and abandonment by recognizing them as beings and not objects as they previously were. Our Han Seong-woo has this story.
Animals will no longer be legally categorized as objects in South Korea. That's because the country plans to amend its civil code to grant animals legal status to prevent cases of abuse and abandonment.
Once the Civil Act declares animals that used to be defined as property, not objects but beings, the fundamental perception will change in the legal world when attempts are made to injure or kill an animal.
It must still be approved by Parliament, likely in September, but the amendment would make Korea one of a few countries to recognize animals as beings with rights to protection and enhanced welfare. After Austria in 1988, Germany in 1990, and Switzerland in 2002. Korea's push comes amid a vast increase in its pet-owning population and the number of animal abuse cases over the last decade.
Animals are not objects, they certainly aren't. But there are people who can't control their anger and take it out on their dogs. This dog's owner lost his temper and told his kids to bury him alive. He was barely alive when we rescued him after it was reported, but the man wasn't punished as the dog was recognized as an object owned by him.
Once the act declares animals are beings and not things, advocates hope judges and prosecutors will have more options when sentencing abusers. Several supporters say it is not enough, though.
Abuse, abandonment, and neglect of pets have not improved in our society and need to be controlled by subsequent legislation. One of the most typical cases of such abuse is the consumption of dog meat, which should also be prohibited by law.
On the contrary, the Korea Pet Industry Retailers Association has pointed out that laws are already in place to ensure the safety of animals. Some critics fear the revision could result in unnecessary restrictions on pet shops and breeders, potentially making adoption more difficult. Han Seong-woo, Arirang News.